Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Star Wars Dojo here today with a brand new video. I hope you guys are having a great day so far. Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 8 just released, the season finale. There were so many cool things in it. I absolutely loved it. I'm going to give my overall thoughts and give it a rating at the end of the video, so let's get straight into the breakdown. The episode opens up to Bo-Katan leading the group of Mandalorians out of the trap by Moff Gideon. Axe Woves is flying at high speeds into space to get reinforcements. The group continues to push down the hallways. Then we see Din getting dragged until he begins fighting the guards, and we get some really cool fighting scenes in this episode. He takes out one of them before he gets a cord wrapped around his neck and yanked to the ground before Grogu steps in to save him. We see Bo and the others fly out of a hole in the ceiling, just as we see TIE interceptors and TIE bombers deployed from the hangar bays. Moff Gideon is notified that the bombers are deployed. He says that Din and the child are still in the building as he's watching them on the radars. We see Din and Grogu going through the halls, and Din requests R5 to help him open the doors to get them to Gideon. Meanwhile, Axe finally flies to space without running out of fuel and makes it to the ship to get everyone out of there. All the Mandalorians get out as Axe stays on the ship to pilot the crash landing just before TIE bombers and interceptors arrive and start bombing away at the cruiser. We see Mando finally reach the laser doors where Moff Gideon is. R5 opens the doors, and Din makes very cool and quick work of the stormtroopers in each laser door. R5 starts to get ganged up on by a bunch of Imperial mouse droids before opening the final door for Din so that way he could fight the last of the guards. Din and Grogu enter a door inside and find a bunch of cloning tanks of Moff Gideon inside each one of them. They walk around before Grogu goes up to one of the tanks and the eyes open up. Din hits a self-destruct button, causing all the tanks to burst, destroying all the research. The scene cuts to Bo and the other Mandalorians flying to the grass area where they haven't seen wildlife grow on the planet ever since before they were there, confirming to them that the planet is very healthy. The group hears the reinforcements have arrived and they take off to the skies as the armorer launches the group out of the ships. We see Bo lead the charge in the skies with the others by her side as she ignites the darksaber and everyone clashes. The scene changes to Mando and Grogu hiding around the corner as Moff Gideon is yelling into the room about how all he wanted was an army of his own clones that could attain the Force and that he could rule the galaxy. But that can't happen anymore because Din had just ruined everything and all of his research is ruined. So Gideon just wanted Force clones of himself. Din charges him, firing his blaster, and Gideon with his high-tech exoskeleton Mando suit punches and throws Din everywhere like a fart in the wind. Din gets cornered by 3 Praetorian guards that killed Paz Vizsla, and we see some really cool fight scenes again before Grogu comes out spamming the no button on the IG droid unit to save Din. The guards leave Din alone to go get Grogu, and Din goes to get up to save Grogu, but Gideon consistently shoots the Mando down to the ground. Meanwhile, the Mandalorians in the sky are fighting Gideon's jet troopers, and it is just so cool. All the fight scenes we see in this episode just really made it fun. It felt like a Clone Wars episode, but in live action. It was so cool. Grogu gets his suit destroyed and jumps around avoiding the guards. Din is getting burnt by Gideon just before Bo comes flying in, knocking Gideon down. She pulls out the darksaber and begins fighting him. As Din is fighting the red guards, at the same time, Grogu's using the Force to give Din the advantage, and they end up fighting very well together, taking them down. Axe lets everyone know that he is crash landing the ship at the base. Bo is struggling to fight off Gideon as Gideon grabs the hilt of the darksaber and crushes the hilt with his mechanical Beskar fist, leaving Bo with no weapon. Din comes from behind shooting Gideon, and Grogu using the Force to move him around, tripping him, and Bo sliding in with her shield to protect the both of them. The ship finally crashes in a fiery explosion, evaporating Moff Gideon. Grogu uses the Force just like how Kanan Jarrus used the Force to push the flames back from the ship in the Rebels TV series. Grogu creating a really cool Force shield as the flames just roll over on top until the flames disperse. The scene changes to the Mandalorians celebrating bathing Vizsla's son in the waters beneath Mandalore. Before Din comes forward to ask if he can take Grogu on as his apprentice, the armor says no because he is not Grogu's parent, who may not even be alive. Din then declares that he's going to adopt Grogu. The armorer gives Grogu his new name as Din Grogu. Everyone cheers as Grogu looks into the water as if he can feel something, a connection of some sort. The camera goes underwater and we can see the Mandalorian mythosaur open its eyes. The scene changes to Bo-Katan lighting up the great Mandalorian forge furnace, and the Mandalorians cheer as the flames are risen again. The scene changes again when we see the tropical hidden Rebel New Republic base we saw earlier in the season. Din walks in and we could see the goat Dave Filoni in the background having a drink in his, casual cameo in the Mandalorian series. Din walks up to the pilot and tells him that he is not really a hardcore bounty hunter anymore, but he needs easier work because now he has Grogu. He tells Din that the New Republic won't want to work with him, and then Din says just don't tell them. He agrees, but then Din requests that he needs a small down payment first, and he asks for the dismantled IG head unit. The scene changes to the town of Navarro. Din is greeting with Greef Karga as he tells Din that he is welcome to stay at the property just outside the city where he can live there with his new family. Din tells Karga that he got something for him as IG-11 walks into town declaring that he is the new marshal of the city and that he will keep the town safe from crime. The scene changes again, and then we see a nice small house in the plains of Navarro as Mando is sitting on a chair outside watching Grogu use the Force to play with a frog. The episode ends. So overall, I'd give this season 3 finale a solid 8 out of 10. There were some things I really enjoyed about this episode, and some things I feel like were very lackluster and rushed. For example, the TIE interceptors and bombers, they just went up and bombed the Mandalorian ship and then disappeared, and it seems like they kind of just forgot about them. And then it was very lackluster, I felt like. I wish Paz Vizsla didn't die in episode 7. It seems like the cloning thing was very rushed. It was just like, oh hey, there's clones here, let's blow them up, you know. But overall, the action scenes, the fighting, everything felt like it was top tier this season. Like it was all so amazing. It's definitely better than the Kenobi season where, you know, Leia's just walking out of an Imperial base under Kenobi's coat. Like it was way better than that. It was very good quality of choreography. Overall, I loved it. It was a good season. I'm excited to see what comes out next. If they're going to introduce Snoke or we're going to see Thrawn, I'm excited for the Ahsoka series. But if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, please subscribe, please tell me your comments in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts on this season finale? What are your thoughts of Star Wars going on in the future? Give me some theories. I would love to hear them. Thank you guys for enjoying this video. I will see you guys in the next video, and may the Force be with you always.